Good morning, Carla Hartley here. This morning I'm continuing our discussion of how to save yourself money in a family law proceeding, and today is more focused on how not to cost yourself money. Every time in a family law action you are served with a petition, you are also served with a summons. These summonses will have and do have on them, as a matter of mandatory language, a number of standard family law restraining orders which go into effect against the petitioner as of the moment the petitioner signs the petition and as of the moment the respondent is served with the petition and the summons. So, keeping that in mind, you need to know what those restraining orders are. And when I say restraining orders, that is exactly what I mean, because that is exactly what they're called. However, these aren't prohibitions to stay away. These are not domestic violence restraining orders or civil harassment restraining orders. They're not really controlling personal conduct and communication between the parties. What they control is whether or not you can take the children out of the state, and then the rest of it is primarily financial. In a parentage action, it's limited to merely don't take the children out of the state. In a dissolution or divorce proceeding, it is more in depth, and a lot more of the financial things are there. So I'm not going to go through all of the different standard family law restraining orders, which you will hear attorneys refer to as ATROs, automatic temporary restraining orders, because they go into effect automatically. So that is a bit of a preferred acronym for us. So if I refer to them as ATROs, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now that you know that you have a summons that you should be reading, I'm going to leave that to you to read. Now you ask, how is this going to save you or not cost you money? Well, violation of the ATROs is punishable by contempt, by imposition of monetary sanctions for the fees and costs it takes to correct the violation of the ATROs, and it is going to also incur attorney's fees in most cases for you to defend yourself or to remedy the expense that you've gone to. I'm going to give you one of the more common examples and one of the worst case scenarios for you. So you've been served with a petition by opposing party, and you are the party who is carrying health insurance for both of you. The ATROs contain specific prohibitions that you cannot alter insurance policies. Any insurance policies that are in existence as of the day you are served with the summons, or that you file the petition. So you decide, because you're angry, to terminate opposing party's health insurance with your employer. Right now, you are in violation of the standard family law restraining orders contained in the summons the moment you change that insurance policy. Let's talk about consequences. Say that opposing party falls and breaks her hip, or is out playing soccer and breaks his leg, and lo and behold, suddenly this person is not insured. You are not only on the hook for an action for contempt for violation of these orders, you are now on the hook and are going to be required to pay from your separate property or your share of the community estate all of the medical costs incurred by the other party, which would have been insured except for your bad act. That is a hefty sanction, to put it lightly. And that is a consequence of violation of one of these orders. In addition to that, you're likely going to have to pay your attorney to try to minimize that so they can't just run up the fees, and you're going to end up paying opposing counsel because of your bad act. They would not have had to incur the fees to go after these uninsured health care costs had you simply abided by the automatic temporary restraining orders contained in the summons. There are others. I cannot emphasize enough how much you should be reading these things. If you have not read it, find your summons and do so. If you cannot find the one that you were served with, contact your attorney and ask them about the ATROs. And here's a really hot tip. If you have violated the ATROs, fix it yourself before the other side finds out or has to complain about it, so that you can minimize your exposure and not be subject to a contempt action. Now, if you don't have an attorney and you can't find one, you can't find your summons, go to self-help in your local courtroom and they'll be able to tell you what the standard family law restraining orders are contained in the summons. They can give you a copy of the summons that you should have been served with. I know our office has a specific memorandum that we send out to our clients that goes through every single one of these atros. And we talk about them specifically. We talk about them so that our client knows not to violate the atro, and so that our client knows if the other side's violated and contact us and let us know. I cannot tell you how many times we have come into a case behind another attorney and have discovered that our client has never been informed of the existence of the atros and has in some way violated that. We tend to amend it as quickly and quietly as we can, unless of course the client was caught in the bad act beforehand. I hope this has been helpful. This is important information. I cannot emphasize it enough. And I do hope that you will see that this is a useful series, and I hope you will continue to follow us. Thank you. Bye-bye.